Hello and welcome back to my channel. So in the previous video, we had seen how you can visualize your trading strategy. So we have the code over here that we had used in the previous video. And then in this video, we'll check how you can backtest this entire strategy. So initially what I'll do is that this first part is exactly same for both the things. So I'll just copy it and I've created a blank page over here. So I have a lot of files running open right now. So let's just ignore them and I'll paste this code over here. So we are doing nothing but again bringing the CSV file with the data, and then we are converting it into a date time index, then resampling the data and then applying these indicators. So over here, let me just undo this line wherein we had selected the data just for 2 days, and then so over here you can see it will be undefined, and because this data frame is not present right now. So I wanted to apply these indicators on the main data file. So what I do is just enter dfx. So these are the new columns which we had created. Okay, so now we also have these indicators with us, right? So what I'm gonna do is so let me just drop this. We have to add ATR. So as you remember, I told you that the buy sell signals will have a stop loss and target as per the ATR, right? So let's just go back. Okay, so we'll create ATR indicator. For ATR, we basically need tar.atr. So if I just run tar.atr, it will show you what are the things that we require. Oh, I had not imported these libraries yet. So I just import them and we'll see what are the things that are required. So we need high price, low price, close and length for ATR. I just ran this tar.atr over here and then we were able to see all these things. Okay, so tar.atr and then we'll write high is equal to df into bracket high, low is equal to df. And we're going to use length 14, but I'll give an option to modify the length as this is just a function that I'm creating, and then return ATR. Alright, and then we'll call this over here fx into bracket ATR. So we have got all these indicators. I'll just run the entire code. Okay, so you can see this is the data frame. We have got all these all the columns that we needed. So basically now what I'm going to do is we'll enter the capital that we'll deploy in this strategy. So capital is equal to 1 lakh rupees. So this is 1 lakh, and then the slippage. So I'm taking slippage at 0.07%. So as we never know that slippage can be positive as well as negative. So I'm just taking for an example 0.07%. And in this I'm not considering brokerage right now. So as it will differ from broker to broker. So I'm not taking in brokerage, but I'll show you how you can include the brokerage as well. So currently it's not there, but similarly in slippage you can directly enter the brokerage value and then we can see that. So let's just check that later on. So right now the signal is, there is no signal as we have not even started the loop. So signal is blank right now, and then what I'm gonna do is create a data frame wherein we'll get all the details about the trade. So So trd ed dot data frame. So this would be a empty data frame with the columns, with these columns, right? So first column which I need is signal. So if it was a buy signal or sell signal, and I'm creating a list over here. As you can see, we need buy time and at what price we had bought it. Okay, so then we need quantity and sell time. Then we also need sell price. Okay. Now, how many points we have achieved in this? And also will be requiring the profit or the net profit. Okay, and then effect it has on our capital. So we'll also enter capital. Okay. So we've got everything over here. So in the previous visualization thing, what we had done was over here, if you can see, we had entered these conditions, right? So similarly, we'll be entering each and every row and checking for the signal. So let's just do that. So okay, so for I in range when VFX, right? So let me just run this. I'll show you a thing over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write P is equal to DFX dot. So we are going to like for this variable P, I'm entering this DFX dot iloc I. So let's just run this. So you can see that in P we have got all these details, and we have also got the index. So this is the last point of the data set, so it is coming in the index, and then below we can see all these things like volume, ETR, all these things are available. So if I just write P into bracket close, we'll get the closing price over here. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is so if signal is blank, then what we'll do is if P into bracket close is greater than P into bracket EMA 20. Similarly, price should also be greater than EMA 50, right? And the RSI should be greater than 60. And also like the volume condition that we had. So P into bracket volume should be greater than P into bracket vol 20. That is the volume simple moving average. Okay, into 1.5. And last but not the least, we need the time to be less than 3. So if the time is greater than 3, then we won't even consider taking any trade, correct? So let's just enter that condition. So to get the index value, what we're gonna do is we'll just write P dot name. So if you see P dot name, we are getting a timestamp over here. So in the P series, if we go, you can check that the index is this. So we're getting it as a date time function. So what we do is we only need time over here. So P dot name dot time should be less than date time dot time into bracket 15. So if the time is greater than 3, it won't take any trades. So the time should be less than 3. Alright, so yeah, I'm getting an error over here, I suppose. Yeah, let's just add that. Okay, so this is the condition for buy. I think I've not imported the date time, so just import Take time, right? So if so currently the time is not less than 15:30, so it is giving false. So over here if you can check the time, well, it is false. Okay, so this is the condition for buying. Now we'll write the conditions for selling. Okay, so if all right, so we have also entered the conditions for selling, and now we'll just give the variables which we want over here, right? So we what we need is signal. So once this all these conditions are met, so our signal would be buy. Okay, and then our buy price buy price would be nothing but, sorry, p into bracket close plus the slippage, right? So p bracket close into slippage, right? And then comes the stop loss. SL is, sorry, so SL is equal to ATR. So as I had told you guys over here in this chart, so it uh, so the stop loss would be the ATR value. We are not trailing our stop losses. The stop loss and the target would be fixed, and our target would be 2 times the ATR. 2 into ATR. Alright, then what we need is buy time. At what time we exactly entered, so it is nothing but p dot name as we had seen earlier, and then the quantity. So you can decide how much quantity you want to enter with, but what I'm gonna do is this capital divided by the closing price. So that much would be my so that exactly would be my quantity that I'll be using. So let me just show you guys. So currently quantity is coming out to be 16. All right. So we have got all these parameters. Similarly, we'll write these for the selling system. Stop loss would be in the positive and the target would be negative, right? So we've got all these things over here. All right, so what I'm going to do is my current capital is, I'm writing this. I'll explain you this after some time, okay? All right, so we have got all these things, and now let's just write if this signal is equal to buy. So if the signal is buy, what we are going to do is if the high of this price is greater than the target. So we had got this target when we initially entered into the trade, we got a target. And then as we go ahead, it will trigger the target. So if the target is triggered, then what we're going to do is square of time. So square of time is equal to p dot name. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I'm just going to enter sq is equal to target. So in this sq variable, what I'm going to do is I'm entering this target value in the target value in this SQ variable. So I'm doing that because it will be easier later on while we are copy pasting all these things. It would be much easier at that time. Okay, so then we need profit as we had discussed over here. So first I'll just enter points is equal to points is nothing but selling price minus buying price. So SQ minus buy price. So the buy price is this, and then how much profit we made on this trade. So profit is nothing but points into quantity is nothing but the profit that we'll make in this, and how it will affect our capital. So capital would be equivalent to uh, so current capital we which I had written over before. So what we are going to do is this current capital plus the profit that we have made. Okay, so once we do that, we'll get this. And I'm just written capital over here to set the quantity. Okay, so if you want the quantity to adjust as per the capital that we have, you can enter current capital into this section, and then the quantity would be according to that. So currently the quantity are fixed. It would be as per the quantity isn't fixed, but the quantity would be as per the capital that we have included. So which is 1 lakh. So as many shares are that fit in 1 lakh, that much only will buy. But if you want to increase the buying capacity as we make profits or as we make losses, you can modify accordingly. Alright, so oh, I have not mentioned if over here, so we got an error. Alright, so we have mentioned everything, and then the last thing that we need to do is we need to add this line with all these details to this data frame. Okay, so TRD. So we're just adding a line over here with all these details. So signal first, then buy time. Buy time is given over here. Okay, then we need buy price. So this is the buy price. And then what we need is quantity. So we also got the quantity and then sell time. Then we also need the selling price. Nothing but SQ. The next thing we need is profit. Lastly, the capital. So we've got all these things. So there are 8 things in this list, and similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I forgot to enter the points over here. So let's just enter points. Okay, so we have got everything over here now. So similarly, what we'll do is if the stop loss is triggered, we need to have condition. If low is less than the SL value. Okay, so this would be same. We'll just need to change this to SL. And the last condition is if this date time is greater than 1510. So generally that is the square of time that most of the brokers have. So it is greater than 1510, then we'll have this condition again. But the price at which we sell would be the closing price, or any price that is available at that time. I'm just taking the closing price right now. So we have done with the buy conditions. Now we'll do the same thing for the sell. So I'll just copy paste this. So L, if this condition is sell, then what we're going to do is our high is greater than, So RSL. So in the short, in the sell condition, all these things would be opposite, right? And then we have to do selling price minus buy price. So we have, sorry, sell price, right? So we need to have is this selling price minus, and then we'll be buying it again at this price, right? Sorry, yeah, yeah. Okay, and the rest of the things would be exactly the same, but in this case, let me just enter the sell timing would just come over here, and then the sell price would come. All right. So the quantity would be again the same as we've discussed, and then square of time would be this. Points achieved would be similar to this. So this is minus. So points is nothing but selling price minus the buying price. So sell price minus SQ. So I think we've got all the things that we need. Okay, so similarly, what I'm gonna do is what we're gonna do is do the exact same things for the rest of the conditions. So low is so when the low is less than the target, then this SQ would be nothing but the target. Okay, and now next thing that we're gonna do is just the same. We've got this condition over here. Just modifying the code as per the cell conditions, right? The final thing to do is this. Now the SQ would be nothing but the closing price. So I hope there won't be any errors as of now. So we have just created this code, and now I'll run this code. Let's see if there are any errors or anything. So it's taking some time to load. I'll fast forward this part. Actually didn't add any print statements in between, otherwise we would have been able to see exactly as and when the code takes any kind of trade. Oh, there is one big error which I forgot about. Whenever these targets or stop loss are hit, we need to again set the signal to none, right? So signal would be blank again, right? So I have to do this on each and every condition that we've got. Okay, and also add these print statements. So I'm just adding signal buy price and buy time, and for sell we have to do the same thing. This is actually just 1 year's data, so I think it should load quickly whenever we want the results. We can do it on a larger data frame, but I didn't get that kind of data. So once we are done, now let's just run this thing. Okay, it is quickly showing us all the trades that it is taking. Okay, so everything has loaded, I suppose, and TRD is the data frame that we wanted to check. Alright, so as you can see over here, we got a sell signal in 2029 12:15. We took 28 quantities and we made a loss over here in the first trade itself, and then we covered it in the second trade. So let's just see, we took total 852 trades here and we made a loss. So I didn't expect this to be profitable, but let's just see if there are any problems in the code, if due to that there is an issue or not. Okay, so I don't think there are any kind of issues with the code, but let's just check it again. But as you can see, we have taken so many trades, and I think this video has become really long. So in the next video, I'll explain you guys how you can uh, this understand this data and interpret this data in a better way. So how you can calculate the drawdown, max trades, number of buy and sell trades. So all that we'll do in the next video. Thanks a lot, guys. So if you have any doubts, you can write it in the comment section below. Right. So thank you. See you in the next video.